Zhao Zhou nodded, turned on the phone, opened WeChat and scanned it and said, "I don't have cash, scan the QR code to pay." The driver said directly, "There is a WeChat QR code in the back row. Please scan the code directly." Zhao Zhou pretended to scan the QR code, then pretended to tinker for a while, and said to the driver, "Mister's money has been transferred." The driver said, "I didn't hear the prompt, I have all voice prompts." Zhao Zhou deliberately said, "Maybe the internet is not good, and you will receive it immediately." After finishing talking, Zhao Zhou immediately pushed the car door, and ran into the alley as if stepping crazy. He thought that he was familiar with the terrain of this alley, and he could get rid of the driver by going in and around twice. He didn't expect that he was beaten so badly. As soon as he got out of the car and was about to run, he immediately ran out of breath. He felt a sharp pain in my abdomen, and one fell to the ground without standing still. At this time, the driver also realized that he was going to run, and hurriedly pushed the door to chase him, and found that he had fallen to the ground, and said angrily, "You want to run before the money has been paid? Give me the money quickly." Zhao Zhou lay on the ground, looking at the fierce taxi driver. His expression was no longer the arrogance he had when he stopped the car and threatened him. He looked at the driver, crying and begging, "Master, I just went bankrupt and have nothing, and I owe a debt. I was beaten into such a situation again. I really have no money to pay the fare, please. Please let me go." The driver said angrily, "You owe a debt, and I still owe a debt. If I have money, would I still open a rental car? Do you think this 45 is nothing? This 45 is enough for me to eat for 2 days. Get it out for me quickly." Zhao Zhou cried out, "Master, I really don't have money, and I don't have any valuables on my body. I beg you, you can take pity on me." The taxi driver yelled coldly, "Don't come to this set with me, then if you don't give me the money, I'll call the police." When Zhao Zhou heard this, he hurriedly got up, knelt under his feet, and kowtowed to him, "Master, I really have no money. Even if you kill me, I have no money. I beg you. I beg you, can't I just kowtow to you? You just treat me as your son and kowtow to you in the new year to say hello. Don't you have to wrap me a red envelope too?" The taxi driver had never seen such a shameless person, and he was trembling with anger. "You. Why are you so shameless? Do you have no parents? If your parents knew that you were outside kowtowing to others for 45, what will be their feelings?" Zhao Zhou's nose was sour. "Master, tell you that I am an orphan. I had no father and no mother since I was a child. I grew up in the Orus Hill Welfare Institute. Going away, that B at Stard not only defrauded my 120,000 savings, but also defrauded me to loan him 500,000 usury from various loan apps. Now he is dead." When the taxi driver saw that he didn't seem to be telling lies, he couldn't help but be shocked. Rushing to a well-off society, why are there such unlucky people? Seeing this, he really couldn't bear it, and continued to force him for the fare. So he sighed and said to Zhao Zhou, "For the sake of your pitiful life, since you have no father and no mother, forget it this time. If you are unlucky, I will ask you to ride in the car." When Zhao Zhou heard this, he immediately knocked 3 heads again and said gratefully, "You are such a good person, you are my second-born parent." After speaking, he raised his head, looked at the taxi driver, and pleaded, "You have already asked me to take the car. Can you give me another 50 and treat me for a meal?" The taxi driver was so annoyed that he kicked him away and cursed. Sure enough, a poor person must have something to hate. You can say it if you are so shameless. You really FC King convinced me. After speaking, the driver turned back to the taxi, started the car and left. Zhao Zhou struggled to get up from the ground, patted the soil on his body, and thought to himself. Although the process was a bit bumpy, it ultimately saved the 45. It took up 45 for the taxi driver, which made Zhao Zhou feel a little better. He limped to his girlfriend's house, thinking in his heart, the moment he sees his girlfriend, he must pounce in her arms and cry. The girlfriend's house is in a shanty town in this city, which is the kind of self-built house, which is relatively shabby. However, in Zhao Zhou's eyes, this is a gold mine, because shanty towns are being managed everywhere now, saying that the house will be demolished when it is demolished, and the house will be lost when it is demolished. There are 2 or 3 houses in a row. Therefore, he is also eager to get married with his girlfriend earlier, so that he can join their family and become a son-in-law, and after the demolition in the future, he can share some benefits.